Check out these spicy patch notes.
Evercraft Online and Throne and Liberty and Wildstar, they're all MMORPGs. Well, a pre-release MMORPG came out. And it's really weird. You guys, you might recognize it. So don't trip. Don't trip up. But you ever New World? It's pre-release right now. New World Aeternum.
I want to know. I want to know why they called it New World when it's not a new world technically. Like
it's definitely not.
It's like Final Fantasy not being the Final Fantasy.
Couldn't they just call it World? Like World it's now World Aeternum.
Yeah. So New World launched several years ago. I mean, New World, I think it launched originally 3 years ago now.
Oh, it was 3 years ago, two years ago, 3 years ago, somewhere around there. Yeah.
And then they have done what they could to try to make the game back to its heyday, right? Like it was successful for a little while. It has since had a expansion called The Rise of Angry Earth, that you could 2021. They have gone I don't think they've gone free to play.
No, I don't believe so. There was conversations about it possibly going free to play, but I don't think that
they never went free to play. The game has had an identity crisis for a long time before, and now it's now come out. So anyway, they decided, hey, Aeternium. We're gonna relaunch the game and call it Aeternium. It worked for Final Fantasy 14. We could definitely kind of do it here.
Let's say this is the Realm Reborn of this game,
kind
right?
of, and what they did was this was basically, hey, we're gonna bring it to console, which I think is a smart move. Like 100%, the game, built for console. I've heard controls extremely well on controllers. So Tony, you can play it. So
why you gotta do them like that, bro? God.
Because I mean. I saw on fucking Dragon Ball, the motherfucker, it was controller settings, so I know he was playing it on a controller. And you're muted, I think, by the way. But yeah, well, I'm fine. It's your controller player. That's what happens. In any case, so they launched New World Aeternium launched, and I think it had good numbers. But some of the drama that has come out is that Amazon was labeling non-Aeternum player reviews from like original launch and Rise of Angry
the original launch
as pre-release reviews. So anything that is non-Aeternium was labeled as a pre-release review.
Wow.
So it had some hot water to it. Now the game itself, like I said,
as it should.
Yeah,
as it should.
Yeah. But the game
holy shit, 37,000 players right now though.
Yeah. Look, I mean, these games, all of these like MMOs like this, when they have something new come out, you see it in Lost Ark, you see it in, you'll see it in Throne and Liberty. I guarantee you right now, you look at Throne and Liberty's numbers and they're probably tanking off the charts, right? Like
they went from 5,000 to
they're falling off
50 to 60,000 now. That's wild.
But and I think that again, releasing the game on console, brilliant.
This is
right?
just Steam.
Yeah. So it'll have I think the player base now, because console players, they don't really have a lot when it comes to MMOs. I think console players have they have Final Fantasy
2 games, like 2 or 3 games. Yeah,
you talking about New World right now? Or
yeah.
Okay.
No, New World. Yeah, New World.
They've got Final Fantasy. They've got what's it called?
Well, isn't Throne and Liberty
Elder Scrolls Online?
Throne and Liberty is crossplay across all platforms.
Yeah.
So
that actually helps these type of games when they.
But yeah, so I mean, I think them going and bringing it to a console is smart, especially this thing.
It was a smart move.
Here's the big thing about New World, right? Is that at its core, even with this, even all the patches that they talk about, which on here, if we scroll down, you can look at some of the patches the patch notes that they talk about. They talk about killing a PvP opponent. There's still target lock issues. They still have talking about like turn speed being slower when target lock. They added cross-world arenas. They improved matchmakings. They added a new PvP zone called the Cursed Mist. They added a new raid.
You think they ever fixed that? You remember back when New World first released, how they had like those their chat. You remember how people could like inject things just by typing them in the chat?
Yeah. I don't know if they fixed that or not. One of the big things that they added in, which is wild to say, in 2024, they added swimming. You can now swim in New World.
Oh my god!
Oh boy.
You couldn't swim before.
They added
Wow.
swimming and they added fucking mounts.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't like the mounts, but that's fine. That's just me.
They needed mounts. Come on, bro.
I don't know. I didn't like mounts. Anyway, but they did add some stuff in that I think that the game somewhat did need, which was like archetype characters. So before, whenever you would load into the game, you actually would just log in and it would be your character screen customization, then you ended up on an island. It was cool, but you kind of felt like, all right, and then you like got a weapon and you kind of feel this out. Well, now when you load into your character and build your character, it comes across as like, hey, what kind of archetype do you want? Like, do you want to be like this? And they'll have like 2 weapons that you choose from that you automatically kind of get. And it kind of gives you an idea of like how that character kind of plays, right? So
Interesting.
because before it was very
So
kind
instead of being a sandbox character, you can kind of
you pick
Okay.
your, I mean, you're still a sandboxy, but you're still,
can you still swap them out later, or is this just like
it's just
okay.
what they're trying to do is do what I think they've been having problems with since the very beginning, is like their identity. What type of MMO, what type of game is this? Because now when you go in, it's kind of like, hey, do you want to be like a tank? Right. And because New World never had like a Trinity system, really. I mean, you did, but it really didn't have.
They had slight. It's kind of like Throne and Liberty. Like they had certain weapons that did better at healing, or certain weapons that did better at tanking.
Right. But
but they never had like an actual like tank or healer.
Right. So this is them kind of being like, hey, like we're gonna go down the Trinity route and kind of like give you the Holy Trinity and of tank, healer, or tank, healer and DPS. So I don't know,
man. I'm gonna have a very controversial take on this, right? Like I feel like if you're going to go down that route, and again, I know this is a controversial take because Throne and Liberty just released and they're doing extremely well with it, right? But it's the same complaint that I have in Throne and Liberty, right? Tanking in both of these games felt real fucking weird because you could just walk in and be like, yeah, I'm a tank, but maybe you not necessarily weren't a tank, right? Or yeah, I'm a healer because I have a wand. You're not built out to be a healer though. Like,
it takes.
I feel like if they're gonna go down the Trinity route, go full send down the Trinity route. Like I get where they want to go, where they want to make sure that people have the freedom to be able to swap between, hey, this if I want to go in as a tank, but I don't want to necessarily go down the route of like sword and board, I still have options, right? But like that like limits your player base in that aspect so much, because you're just like tossing up in the air, hey, is this guy actually tanked out or spec'd out to be a tank, or is he just saying that he's a tank, right? And it feels weird to me. I don't know, and maybe that's just the old school MMO player in me that's like, I don't want to be. Well, if I want to be a tank, I want to be a tank.
Well, look, I mean, name what other game has an MMO that has been successful without a Holy Trinity?
Yeah,
like,
it's very few.
I think the only one that I can honestly think of is Guild Wars.
Guild Wars, yeah, I was about to say Guild Wars 2.
Dungeoning in Guild Wars 2 is not really a thing. Like it's not like
Guild Wars 2. You could argue that Elder Scrolls Online technically has,
but no,
like,
honestly,
it's still
ESO
kind of
started off as a not having a Trinity, and then it
still kind of has that. Yeah, it still kind of has that aspect of like, are you actually a tank? Are you not a tank? Like, what are you? Like, I don't understand. There's not a lot of games out there these days that really, if they have the Trinity system in it, where it's like, hey, you have a tank, you have a healer, you have a DPS. If they don't go down that archetype route, they don't usually.
I just think that I agree with you. I think keeping it, we don't need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to this. Like that works. There's a reason it works. Like, and I think WoW does a great job with it of being like, hey, you have a spec, and that checks you off to be like, you are that spec, and that's what you're gonna do. And you can switch specs, but you are no longer able to queue as a tank. With New World, look, my Warden-esque comes from the like playing New World. I mean, all of these guys, will tell you like,
no, we did
killing
we
fishing.
We didn't call
it. I'm telling you, but I'm saying like me being out there killing fishermen in New World, like that's where that real Warden aspect came from. And I would love for New World to take off and find its footing and be successful. I think it's a dope world. I really think that it's a cool environment. Well, I think the sound in the game is really cool. I like the weapons. I like the era that it's in.
Yeah,
there
that was the biggest
good.
That was the biggest complaint that I had about it. Was like I there was so much that they did that I was like, yeah, take those ideas, like the world, the timeline, the aspects, the fucking, you know, the enemies, the enemy design, the fucking weapon design. Take all that, great ideas, perfect, put it into an actual MMO.
Right.
Like put it into an actual Trinity MMO, and then I think you'll have a banger. But
Do you
know,
think
So
I
my-
don't think
my
that
thing-
they're too far down the road with it.
My thing for these type of games, I've always like I want to sink my teeth into a good MMO, but the last one that really kind of did it for me was Lost Ark, and I've kind of just been kind of burnt out on trying to get into anything else. Like
Yeah.
these type of games, New World, Throne and Liberty, they take a lot of dedication now compared
That's
to
an MMO. That's just
yeah,
MMOs in general. They take a lot
exactly.
of dedication, a lot of time. So
And there's so many of them. Like you said, if you don't break the Holy Trinity, excuse me. Damn, is everybody having difficulty
It's Friday,
speaking?
bro.
Yeah,
It's Friday.
yeah,
goblins.
we're off, boys.
But if you don't break the Holy Trinity, you're good to go. Like I haven't seen very many games that don't have a healer system or a tank system that works.
The only one that I can think of that has done it okay, and it's entirely just because they don't really, like, they don't lean into that system, is, again, like you said, Guild Wars, but also like BDO, and I know you guys are gonna give me shit.
It's the
BDO
fucking
does an
MMO.
extremely good job at that. Like they don't lean into
Yeah.
having like
They actually don't. Yeah.
traditional dungeons and raid mechanics and everything like that. So yeah, you technically don't really need the holy trinity of the healer, the tank, the DPS, right? So I don't know. Yeah,
I
agree
that's
with you.
that's a whole nother conversation. Here's what I
Yeah.
would say, Tony. I think like games like Throne and Liberty, Lost
Mhm.
Ark, those ones that you named for sure are huge time sink sucks. Like those are
Yeah.
not casual based MMOs to get into. New World,
Mhm.
I would actually argue.
I think New World would actually be
is
better,
a good MMO if you are wanting something that you're like, hey, I can get into, pop in, do a couple things,
Yeah.
you know, and bounce out and not have to feel like fuck,
Right.
I gotta
'Cause-
be like cutting edge to do shit.
Yeah, because New World's not going to lean into the fact that like you're like Lost Ark, where you're having to like constantly fucking upgrade equipment. You know,
I
sometimes
mean,
you fail
it
that
has
kind
gear
of stuff.
score, but it's
New
not.
World, it does, but you're getting most of your gear score from like doing dungeons or doing dailies or doing, you know, questing, everything like that. So like,
Yeah,
yeah,
or
I
crafting,
actually do. I actually do agree with you quite a bit on that one, Sin. I think you might actually like this one a little bit more just because it doesn't. It respects your time more than those other
Right.
MMOs.
I mean, even
right?
like
fair
WoW,
enough.
they have made it where you can, like, I mean, I've been trying to get you into WoW for a minute now, right? And like, I'm still
I already
I'm
no.
still
Mm-mm.
trying. I'm still trying to get somebody into WoW. But what I would say is that if you are going to jump into one of these games,
Mhm.
you know, let me know, let your community know, because part of the fun is that like playing with people and like Throne and Liberty. I enjoy Throne and Liberty. I like Throne and Liberty, but you know, I never got to play with Enigma because of our time sinks. You know, I had a bunch of other stuff going on, so I never got to sync up in that. So it was a lonely experience, just kind of going. Even though you see people in the world populated, it's still not that same. But if you want to go back to New World, man, I'll dust off the Warden cape, bro. I'll put that crown right back on. We'll go fuck up some fishermen all day long, man. I'll be more than happy to bust out.
But you're
the
gonna
Warden.
have to call him Warden.
You gotta call me Warden. That's the whole.
So
thing.
Warden,
crazy.
are we
Yeah,
gonna go over
so-
there and kill those fucking fishermen over there?
Yeah,
Let's go. Okay,
But
so
if it is, I would say, you know, and look, I've been, the itch has been there to be like, hey, you know what? Let's give New World Aeternum a try. Let's see. I own the game already. Let's give it. Have you purchased New World? Do you own it, Tony, or no?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you'd have to buy it. Oh, that's a
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know about
I've never
I don't
played
know
it
about
before.
that.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, maybe if you have some buddies that are gonna, you know, stick with it, or you really want to make a go at it for sure.
Do you get Aeternum for free if you already had New World? Is it like an update
It's
for it?
It's just an update. So you don't get
Okay, yeah.
I don't think that they have. Let me take a look here. Holy fuck! It's $60.
Wow.
Oh my god! Wow.
I'm
it's,
okay.
It's
Hey, at least
80,
it's not 70, right?
It's 80 if you
Right.
want to get the deluxe edition, which gives you Rise of Angry Earth. So it gives you the expansion. That's wild to me.
I don't know about
it's
that.
60. Did it launch all was it always
2021?
Did it always was it always $60? I swear to God it was $40.
Because it's a one price MMO.
No, it was $60 back in the day if I remember correctly.
Are you sure? I could have hold on. New World.
Pretty sure. I
launch
mean, I
price.
can look at what I paid for it on Steam, but that'd take
No. The initial MMO of New World launched at $40, and the deluxe edition was $50.
So
wow.
So I can kind of no, I can't understand that because again they released in 2021. But like having the base game and then also the fucking DLC, I can kind of see it. But like
no, bro, the $60 purchase doesn't give you the DLC. The $60 purchase doesn't give it. No, you have to spend the $80 to get the DLC.
Fuck that. Okay. Yeah.
Fuck you, Amazon. Let me triple fucking check here. But I'm almost sure that tells you that you have to spend the deluxe edition. Okay, hold on. So the deluxe edition, New World Deluxe Edition comes with New World Aeternum, Corrupted Bear Mount, Corrupted Soul Skin. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it doesn't. Okay, I will stand corrected. The deluxe edition that is $80 gets you the bear mount and the skin. So you're spending $30 extra dollars, $20 extra for the skin, $20 extra for skin. If you buy the standard edition, New World Aeternum, I actually don't know if it comes with.
No, New World back in the day, it was $42.89. That's what I paid for it on Steam.
Dude, it doesn't come with the
2021.
I have base world. Okay. I only have the New World base game and not the Rise of Vanguard's expansion. If you currently only have the New World base game, you'll have access to only some of the updates and content with the launch of New World Aeternum. To get access to all of the content, like the new raid, you will need to purchase Rise of Angry Earth as well.
That's crazy, dude.
Bro, you gotta spend
$39.99.
You gotta spend $100. $100 to get this game.
$39.99 back in June July of 2021. That's I paid $42.69 after tax.
That is, but Tony, do not play this game. Do not buy this
game.
Nobody buy this game.
Don't.
I'm not jumping back into this game. That is disgusting.
That is scummy as shit. Not only is it scummy as shit that they're making you pay more for the fucking same game that they paid or they charge less, but all again. They're labeling old fucking reviews as fucking pre-release. That is the scummiest shit I've ever heard.
You know they're launching. They I mean, obviously they pumped that price, but they took the opportunity because they're launching it on console at that price.
Console, yeah, and people will pay for it because consoles don't have any fucking MMOs.
That's scummy as shit. I didn't realize it was that price because I already owned both, and I was like, all right, well, no big. I thought at $60, dude, that's fucked up. That is fucked up. Okay.
Good job, Amazon. You won the fucking worst fucking gaming company in 2024 so far. Well, actually, maybe
sure?
No,
I don't know.
Let's talk.
Thanks all for tuning in to the Patch Notes. And if you enjoyed and want to see more, you can catch us live every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, or catch us after the fact at anchor.fm/prepatchpodcast. See you next time.